Sophie Cunningham got injured, okay? She got injured. She landed on her ankle the wrong way.
They make the most out of their use in practice and on the court.
One bad landing can feel like an earthquake. When Sophie Cunningham's right foot folded over Ryan Howard's shoe on the evening of May 10th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse inhaled as one. The crowd wasn't watching a routine preseason mishap. They were witnessing the Fever's emotional reset button slam down without warning. Fans scrolling their phones saw the slo-mo loop seconds later, the ankle turning at an angle feet simply aren't built for, and the comment section erupted with "Spicy Sophie, say it ain't so" memes.
Now at that moment, everybody was scared in the live stream, man. I was holding my breath, my face was fixed a certain way that looked crazy. I mean, we were scared in there, okay?
Coach Stephanie White met reporters with her usual granite calm, but her words hit harder than any x-ray. She keeps telling me, "I'm fine, but we'll know more after the scans." In a roster suddenly thick with headline names, Caitlin Clark's limitless pull-up threes, Aja-like dominance from Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell's napalm-scoring bursts, Cunningham isn't the stats darling. She's the spark in the gasoline. Lose that spark, and all the glamorous firepower waits for a lighter that never flicks. Tonight we crack open the cast before it's even molded, tracing why her rolled ankle threatens to bend the Fever's whole identity, and why this moment might birth an even louder version of the league's most polarizing enforcer. 12 seconds left in the half, ball ricocheting like a pinball, bodies crashing. Cunningham cat steps inside to snatch a rebound, rises, and lands on Howard's outstretched foot. Her boot meets hardwood at a 45-degree heartbreak, and for one suspended breath she's frozen mid-grimace. Then the firebrand who usually pops up like a coiled spring just stays down. Teammates cluster. Clark's palms cover her mouth. The arena's energy evaporates into sterile silence.
Yeah, it was scary, man. This was scary. I mean, as long as she was sitting on the ground and then had to hop off the court.
On the bench, Sophie tests a cautious hop, but the grim shake of the trainer's head ends the experiment. The box score records 0.00 of everything for the rest of the night, yet the intangible columns, edge, menace, swagger, all read -infinity. But the sting didn't start with that crooked landing. Cunningham's whole career is a mosaic of collisions, each bruise another brushstroke on her enforcer resume. The dream incident was simply the loudest crack in a wall already webbed with stress fractures. And the pain started long before she hit the hardwood. Most remember Sophie Cunningham launching three-pointers like bottle rockets at Missouri, but college didn't crown her queen of chaos. That upgrade came the hard way. 2022's Mercury Mystics near brawl after a flagrant she dealt Shatori Walker Kimbrough. 2023's dirty closeout debate that had half of WNBA Twitter demanding a suspension. And just last week, rookie forward Kiki Iriafen laughing in her face after a shove, igniting more think pieces on sportsmanship than a semester's ethics course. Opponents call it reckless, teammates call it life insurance. Cunningham barrels through screens, dives after 50-50 balls like they're diamonds, and trash talks in a voice that could sandpaper paint. The transformation from stretch shooter to full-time agitator wasn't an accident. It was survival. With every scuffle, she reinvented herself into the player rosters hate-crossing yet secretly crave in their foxhole. February 1st, 2025. In a 4-team mega-swap, Indiana shipped breakout forward Nalissa Smith-West and unwrapped Sophie Cunningham plus 2 draft picks. Reporters blinked. Why import a career 8 points per game guard when you already drafted a generational scorer? The Fever's answer was simple math of chemistry. Caitlin Clark rains logo threes, but intimidation isn't her hobby. Someone had to be the bodyguard. National TV schedules ballooned to 41 broadcasts. Merch sales spiked. Hashtags like #Clark and Chaos trended within hours. Yet for Sophie, the trade was less red carpet, more red meat. New arena, new locker room, same job. Make the other team uncomfortable. Beneath the confetti, a question lurked. What if the bouncer sprains her knee staring at the door? And suddenly, the bouncer needed guarding. Stephanie White isn't prone to poetic lament. She reshuffles rotations like a chess grandmaster flicking pawns. But after Sophie crutched into the locker room, White's whiteboard became a Rubik's Cube. DeWanna Bonner moves into the starting 5. Nice length, less snarl. Bench energy plunges. Who talks trash now? Clark? Too busy orchestrating. Mitchell? She stings with points, not with volume. The void is louder than any pre-game playlist. White tells reporters, "We'll keep tinkering. Preseason's for experiments." The subtext: culture is harder to experiment with than lineups. SI defensive drills echo minus the bark that usually ricochets off rafters. Practice still flows, but the tempo's polite, like jazz without drums. Because lineups you can shuffle, identity, not so much. Ice tub, phone in hand, a thumbs-up selfie captioned, "Y'all know I bounce." That lands on IG less than 2 hours post-injury, and comment sections flood with chili pepper emojis. Cunningham's rehab isn't a quiet corridor. It's Mission Impossible montage. Friends whisper she's already dissecting film, forecasting how to angle her hips on closeouts when the brace comes off. High ankle sprains sideline mortals 4 to 6 weeks. Sophie once beat a rib bruise timetable by 12 days and an elbow tweak by 2. Betting lines shorten in real time. The team's sports science staff advise caution. Sophie nods, but her eyes dart to the court like a caged border collie.
Because we need her at 100% going into Sky Town.
For her, downtime isn't a break. It's memory foam storing kinetic fury for the sequel. And outside the training room, the conversation grows louder. Sophie's ankle isn't the only thing swollen. Opinion threads balloon daily. Some fans replay every elbow and swear she's league-licensed dirty. Others craft highlight reels of hustle and call her the antidote to soft modern hoops. Political gossip surfaces. Did she really vote Big T last election? Teammates who once followed her Instagram stories mysteriously vanish from her follower count, fueling podcasts speculating locker room divides. For the WNBA marketing office, gritty sells, until it bloodies a nose on national TV. League teasers plaster Clark's smooth logo threes, but viral views spike when Sophie chest bumps a center twice her size. Every expletive she censors with a wink, DMN right, somehow trends higher than perfect shooting form. Her injury, paradoxically, heightens the debate. Is women's basketball better with artillery fire or artistry? Inside Fever HQ, chemistry undergoes a pressure test. Practice. The next morning feels like group karaoke missing the loud friend who usually grabs the mic. Aaliyah Boston sets bone-rattling screens. Mitchell splashes threes. But when scrimmage intensity dips, nobody spikes the thermostat. Rookie guard Celeste Taylor tries a war cry, voice cracking mid-yell. The gym laughs affectionately, but the absence lingers like echo. Assistant coach Jesse Miller sets up a drill called Junkyard Dogs, 5-minute full-court chaos, previously Sophie's playground. Without her, the drill looks rehearsed, not rabid. Boston later tells media, "We can play hard. Sophie makes us play mean." White reminds them edge is communal, not rented. Yet she also knows some players are the edge. The 2019 Sparks lost Alana Beard for 3 weeks and drifted from contender to coin flip. They only snapped back when Beard's scowl returned. History warns loudest. Remove the shock absorber and the ride gets rough. And the calendar isn't pausing for ankle ligaments. Circle the date. May 17th. Home opener against the Chicago Sky. Pundits wonder, does Sophie limp into warm-ups rocking a steel staff brace? Or does she orchestrate chaos from the bench, clapping so hard her palm turns purple? Either way, Chicago forward Elizabeth Williams already fields questions about retaliation fouls. Rival coaches admit, anonymously, that facing the Fever without Cunningham feels less stressful, but nobody trusts she'll stay sidelined. Imagine the first possession she re-enters. Chicago's Angel Reese seals deep. Sophie slides under, chest first, takes the charge, slaps the hardwood, and screams a primal, "Let's go!" That single act might produce more decibels than Clark's next half-court three. Because the moment Sophie proves the ankle survived hellfire, every teammate's shoulders relax, the bouncer's back at the velvet rope. And every opponent's pulse ticks faster. There's no mask for dread when chaos walks in smiling. Rolled ankles heal. Culture fractures linger, or galvanize. The Fever believe Cunningham's absence is a stress test, not a death sentence. Clark will still float jumpers from the mascot's eyebrows. Boston will still swat shots into low orbit. But the team's true heartbeat is measured in snarls, floor burns, and reckless dives toward courtside popcorn. That metric reads low now, but it's only temporary. Because Sophie Cunningham doesn't do intermissions, she does sequels, and every sequel needs a bigger explosion. When she tears off the warm-up and hurls herself into the next loose ball, the question won't be whether the ankle held. The question will be whether the league is ready for a fully reloaded Queen of Chaos. So brace yourselves, because when Sophie storms back, the lights burn brighter, the roof rattles louder, and somewhere deep in the paint, a whisper becomes a war cry. Thought I was done? Watch this. If this fired you up, drop a spicy Sophie in the comments. Smash that subscribe button and stick around. The next chapter's about to get even louder.